Kia ora, team. This is the outskirts of Lapina. Let's have a little look at the map, shall we? So, I've just left Muraden. I checked at the militaries at both ends of the town, and nobody had any pliers, which is a shame. Both the Olga and the Hummer are still there, and all my stash gear is still there, which is great. I went over to Huta, and I checked out the sawmill yard, and they don't have any pliers. I'm not going to check the houses. I haven't found a set of pliers in the derelict house yet, so I'm not going to bother. So I've come over here to Lapina to see if there is anything over here that might have pliers, and that's where we are. So there seems to be a little military here. So we're still on the lookout for grenades. Remember, base building, base cracking. So we have 4. We're looking for 6 more. Remember, we want 10. So we want to try a 5 and 5 split. We want to find a base. We want to try a 5 and 5 split to see if we can open that base. And there are plenty of them in Topolin to try out. But we just need to get more grenades. So let's see if there's anything over here that's grenade worthy, shall we? Or pliers. A base. I can't say I'm wholly surprised. Is it a base with a paraplier? No, it's a base with a bullhorn. Which does not help me. So, no. The answer is no. Right. Well, let's otherwise have a look at Lapina, shall we? It's pretty derelict. Somebody running over chickens. Someone is killing chickens. There's a lot of dead chickens. Someone drove through here and ran over some chickens. Maybe. There's another dead chicken. Why are all these chickens dead? I mean, 2 things. One is, why are there all these chickens? And then, why are all these chickens dead? I'm really very confused about the chicken situation here. I mean, I'm gonna take the chickens because I've got capacity to take chickens. And it's free food. Oh, I thought I had capacity to take the chickens. I guess I don't. Somebody just doesn't like chickens. Alright, well we'll keep our eye out for some kind of crazy chicken thief. Sorry. Homicidal chicken maniac. I've never seen infected kill chickens. I mean, that's not to say that they don't do it, but I've never seen them do it. What was that? Oh, it's an infected runner. Where do we want to go next? We want to go out to the end of that road because that looks like it could be something. So we got to head down the road. We must have come past it or something. We'll have to go and find that. Knee deck. On the knee deck. We know Zeppeliskos. We never got to the military at knee deck because there was a gas cloud there, remember? Yeah, I mean, we could be heading all the way to somewhere like Sabotka. Go back up, come back around Adamau, that kind of way. Let me have a think about it. Let's see if we can find this. I reckon it must be out that way. What the effing deuce is going on? Another dead rooster? What the heck? Right, okay, nothing here that I want. Where are we going? Knee deck. Heading towards knee deck. Straight up the road. Pretty much directly north. I wouldn't mind stopping in and getting some water, not in knee deck. Right, see you soon. Well, night is falling. We're approaching the outskirts of knee deck. I can't remember if there's anything particularly in knee deck other than ruined houses, to be fair. So I'm not desperately sure we're going to find anything in the. Just missed the view. I should have started it earlier actually, because the castle at Copa is up on the hill over there, which we know has a basin, and no pliers. So without more grenades, I don't really want to go up there. And what was it? One of these houses that the screwdriver was in? Was it this one? No, I don't think it was. It was a different shape, wasn't it? Running shoes. Anyway, I'll keep looking for pliers, shall I? And the military's over this way, so we'll head over this way to the little military and see what's going on. They may have a couple of sheds, outdoor sheds or something. We'll keep our eye out for any more dead chickens, whatever that is about. Oh, or Zeds. Come to think of it. I love crossbows. Did I mention I love crossbows? I love crossbows. They're definitely the most OP stealth weapon in the game. They're great. Just great. I use them for everything. For hunting, taking out Zeds, taking out military Zeds. Just fabulous. I tried it once on players. It doesn't work so well on players. At least not the players that I was dealing with anyway. that is the end of that. Let's get out of here because we don't want to be gassed. And yeah, look, I think we're going to have to loop around some of these other beginning towns if we want to get what we want, which is pliers, essentially. All this for a set of pliers. Yeah, kind of. Sorry. Right, let's stop and have a think. So, Nidek. I don't want to go up the road to Sobotka. It seems like a long way. I think I want to go to Olzanka and Radic because they're just up the road. So actually, we gotta head due west. Head due west. Let's do that then. At night, as usual. Well, kia ora team, we're back again. This is the outskirts of Olzonka, which we've been to before a lot, more than once. If I just stroll out here, you see that Copa's over there. So we've been through here a couple of times. And we're here again now, and we're still looking for stuff. We are still looking for a pair of pesky pliers, which honestly is all I'm looking for at this stage. We're up in sort of, if I grab my map, which is here, we're up in kind of getting close to Freshyville. There's no military in Olzonka. The next one to do would possibly be Regits, but if we get a pair of pliers here, we're heading straight back to Maratin. If we don't, we're heading to Regits. If we don't at Regits, we're going to Adamau. Surely, by the time we get back to Maratin, these three little freshy starter towns, somebody, somewhere, must have a pair of pliers, for crying out loud. You'd think it was the hardest thing to get hold of. Anyway, that's the plan. So yeah, you've seen it before. You don't need to see it again. If anything magical or tragical happens, I'll call you in. Otherwise, I'm running around in outbuildings looking for pliers. It's not exciting stuff. I will tell you though, I just came across the fields from Nidek in the night, and sometimes DayZ really can do strange things to your soul. So there I was in the pitch black, in the rain, and it was pretty dark, running through the woods of all things, as you do, thinking, well, you know, what have I got to be worried about really, other than other players? And what do I see? Not sort of 15 meters in front of me, running east-west across my vision, but a wolf. Now, that's not really something you want to see in the dark, in the rain, when trying to find somewhere to hole up and or shoot these things is going to be tricky. Yeah, so that really that really required a change of underwear. I don't know what it was chasing. It didn't chase me. It kept going after whatever it was chasing. So I don't know. I didn't see another player, but yeah. Woof. Testy, I can tell you. Anyway, pair of pliers. See you soon. Well, kia ora team. I mean, sometimes DayZ. I appreciate it's dark. Sorry, I'm inside a tent. I'm inside a tent because I am inside the base outside Topolin. Not my base, the other base. The base that we managed to blow ourselves up trying to raid that turned out to have been raided anyway. I'm inside a tent over there, which is one of the hard ones to get into. Anyway, flippin' heck. So, ooh, that's bright. Muratin. Where did we go from Muratin, of all things? Well, we went and had a look at Huta, and we didn't find any pliers there. And we went to Lipina, and we didn't find any pliers there. And we went up the road to Nidek and the military at Nidek, and we didn't find any pliers there. So we went to Olzonka, no pliers. We went to Redakch, no pliers. Adamau, sans pliers. Topolin, surely a pet, no pliers. We went to our old base, one set of pliers. I mean, talk about frustrating. So this is ugh, this is the way DayZ can be sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 towns, no pliers, and I checked, man. I really checked. I didn't just, oh, I'll just check one or two places and carry on. I checked every barn house, farmhouse, hen house, and outhouse that I could find for a pair of pliers, and there was no pliers. Oh, that's dark again. Um, Blimey. Anyway, I've got myself some pliers. I could stock the world with a bunch of other things if I'd had like 1,000 capacity backpack. I mean, I could probably have picked up 25 bales of wire of various kinds. Um, but anyway, I'm in this tent and it's dark. It's night out. I'm going to do a quick skirt around here for any more pliers because they seem to be kind of hard to get hold of, and I'll be back on the road and I'll see you back in Marathon. See you soon. Right. Well, here I am back at my little stash, and everything is still here, which is a minor miracle. The server, as you can see, is going to restart in 3 minutes, so I'm not going to do anything for the next 3 minutes. Everything is hunky dory. The infected are running around there, generally being silly, but keeping an eye out for me, which is great. I like having your own pet guard dog, really. Um, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff, and that is no mistake. So I need to get a place to put it, and that's what we've got to work on. So I'm going to try Plan A, which is the building that's just down there that we talked about. But one of the things I want to test is it possible to climb in or not? So server's about to restart. I'm going to knock off. I'll go have a little nosy and a play with that, and I'll call you back soon. Ta-ta for now. Now, I have said this before, and maybe I'm getting it wrong, but I just got gassed, obviously, because I was in that house right there, and they've gassed the military barracks. I was wondering just exactly how close the gas cloud went, and now I know. which is something else to talk about, obviously, because if I put that base over there, it's also going to be under the gas cloud. But again, it's not a, as we've said, it's not a hanging out kind of a base. It's kind of a central storage base, and I'm okay with that. But so I got a few cuts, and I got one cut by the time I ran out because I just had to run up the hill. And I've saved myself. When they gas that one, it doesn't come down this far because that one's further out of town. However, I was under the impression, correct me if I'm, pardon me, wrong, that the intention was that to prevent that happening, because you can't know that, you log out, minding your own business, and you log back in and you're in the middle of a gas cloud and then you're dead. Because you could be, I mean, this is a small one with an easy, oh no, I'm near the edge. What if you're somewhere that's a little bit more complicated, like up the top of a set of tower blocks or something? And you have to run downstairs and you get gassed and there's doors, you're behind a base, open and close, and you got to get through things, and then you run out, and by the time you get anywhere you've got 6 cuts and pox, and you're like trying to fix all of that and you die. Right. So I thought what was supposed to happen is if you're there and you go to log in and there's a gas cloud, it dumps you outside the gas cloud. Then you have to go back in again afterwards. But maybe I'm getting that wrong. Well, I am getting that wrong because this is now the second time this has happened to me. It happened to me once in Chinaris, it's happened to me once here, so I know it's not happening on either map. Anyway, so there you go. So I'm fine. I'm okay. I have my spare blood in not that stove, in that stove. So if I start getting pox and start look like I'm not doing too well, I can give myself blood transfusion and I will probably be okay. Right, we'll have to wait. Not a lot I can do about that. I just have to wait. So I'm just gonna wait. Tum diddy dum 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 dum. It's about 45 minutes usually for this thing to clear up, I think. I've still got a bag full of gear. I don't think any of my gear got damaged in it. Yeah, it's all good. Um, right. Well, I'll call you back when this is gone. Go team. Um, right. So, here's here is the situation after several hours of running around. I am in this house in the middle of the woods outside Muran. This is the house that I'm in. I appreciate you can't see it. I locked the door while we talk. Um, this would be a nice house to build a base in, but a couple of things. I tried. I put a fence in, and it won't build a wall. It will try and build a myriad of other things, but it won't just build an out and out fence wall. It says it's a fence, but it isn't a fence. It looks like it should be a fence, but the minute you start trying to build a fence, it goes all wonky and you can't get a fence. Now, unlike some other buildings that are like this kind of internally out in Chinoris, outside it has an additional space, and because it has that additional space, the objects interfere with the wall, and as a consequence, I can't build the wall. So that's a bit of a problem. We have another problem. So I have been around all of the houses in Murat, derelict and otherwise, and I simply can't make them break proof. The issue with the one that I was looking at is you can actually, with a bit of monkeying around, climb up the wall and drop inside the base. And that's pretty much the case with all of the derelict houses, which sort of explains why nobody else has built a base inside a derelict house, which is what I thought was a bit of a surprise, but you can't do it. And I don't know if it's something that PC have mods and things so they can build anywhere and they can get rid of all of this clipping bits and pieces and so on. Pardon me. But I can't do it in Marathon. Not anywhere where it's going to be out of the way. I had a look around Huta, same problem. Can't do it anywhere in Huta. The little church, I've seen bases on PC built in that little church. Can't do it in console. At least I can't do it. I tried to figure out how you could make the walls work, but the placement just doesn't function. Just doesn't work at all. I went and had a look at all these outbuilding areas and various other bits and pieces, and there's nothing that's going to be suitable. Um, the There is a garage up here, but there's also a military barracks up there. And while I was even just scouting around Huda, I could hear shooting over the military side of things. So yeah, it's frequented. So there you go. Those buildings out there are derelict. Lapina, we know, mostly derelict except for the farm way at the bottom. Kind of big. Olzanka is a regular town. So don't know. There could, in theory, be houses there, and you've probably got farm and outbuildings and things, but it's going to be looted pretty extensively by noobs and people. So there you go. Nidek we know about is derelict except for the military, so no building there. Radich is normal, but it's on the yellow route, so it's going to be heavily frequented. Adamau again, heavily frequented. Um, Hedrakau, I know about. That is a military shed and warehouse. And the last time, I don't think it was on this server, it may have been on another server, but the last time I went down there, yes, there was a base, and yes, it had been broken into. Sarnowek, we know that there's already someone has tried to make a sizable base in there, or maybe making a base in there. This unnamed farm complex we know nothing about, but it's close to the yellow route. And then you're over to Pioneer and Zalisi, and Zalisi is going to be busy, a busy place in general. So, and then you're heading further south. So what were we doing? Well, what we were doing was trying to find somewhere to stash some gear so that we could get some nades to raid Topolin. Essentially, that's what we were doing. So, with that in mind, I don't really want to talk about heading too far south for right now. Let's talk about north first. Once we figure out what we're doing and how we do it in the north, we can figure out what we're doing and how we do it in the south. So, this house would be good, but for the fact. So, don't really want to go anywhere towards Huta. There is a building down here on the edge of this lake. I haven't been there. I would like to check it out. Yes, it's on the edge of a lake. Yes, it's near Moran. Yes, I know. I would just like to go and have a look at it. Okay, thank you. I think this farm building is too heavily frequented. If that doesn't pan out for whatever reason, like we can't secure it or something like that, then there is this house outside Sarnowek, but I don't mind looking at it. Uh, there's these two buildings over here. I don't know what they are. That's a little bit more out of the way. Likewise, there's two conjoined looking buildings down here, which also look slightly out of the way, which I don't mind having a look at. Um, I think I don't know what these buildings are out here on the other side of Pioneer, down from Pioneer, um, or that one. But it is on a main road, so I'm kind of doubtful, kind of dubious. Um, and then you're looking at like uh, I I know which one that is, but then there's this one down here, which is a bit more out of the way. Um, but then, I mean, you're way over here. There's buildings way over there on the west for sure. But again, there are things people will probably look at and so on. And I've been to that little house out west, and it is pretty far out west. And I'm not sure it can be fortified so easily, but we could end up going that way. So while I did try and want to go central, I can't find a place in Muratin, Huta, uh, Drunicky is mostly derelict. There's some things, but it is right on the edge of Nadebor. Um, there's nowhere in Lapina. Radunan's under a gas cloud. There's nowhere in Nidek. Cope is busy. Radich and Olzanka are probably very high risk. I don't recall if there's any apartment blocks in either of those. For example, I think they're too small. Um, uh, Well, Olzanka we know. No, there's no tower blocks in there. There's some engineering sheds and things. That might be doable, perhaps. Um, Adamau, I think, is too busy. Personally speaking, it's got a yellow route running through it, and it's right next door to Topolin. So we're looking at some of these slightly more out of the way places. And depending on what we get and what we find, we might be able to change our location from, say, Muratin to one of these buildings out here from Pioneer. And that means we could still go up the road from Zalisi to Topolan, no problem. So that's it. So in order to facilitate all of that happening, and sorry that I'm sitting mostly in the dark. Look, you can look at this, which is not dark. I gotta get a few things. I do have a few odds and sods and bits and pieces, but I could do with a bit more. The primary one of those being some wire for a fence, because while I have pliers, which is great, I can't actually make a fence unless I actually have some wire, and I don't have any wire in any of these. I have some nails and things. I have a saw. I have sharpening stones. I have a bunch of stuff, but what I don't have is I don't have wire. So, I mean, that's essentially all I need. So I need to just swing by my little stash and pick up some wire and hit the road. I might. It's a shame because there's a whole bunch of planks here, but I wonder if I could make a 50 box while I'm here and bring that with me. Let me see if I can do that, and then I'm gonna go back, and then we're gonna go back on the road again. So this is part of base building, isn't it? Learning where you can actually build bases and where you can't build bases. I have to say, I thought it was easier than it currently is on console. I thought I didn't realize so many things would clash. I thought it'd just be gunshots. I thought you just, plonk it down and away you go. Um, no, doesn't seem to work out like that. So anyway, let me try and avoid getting shot and sort that out, and I'll be right back. Ooh, a hammer. Ooh, scope. Right, so we're down here. Where's here? We are down here at the little lake below Marathon, right here. Which is good. It's a nice little lake. It's a nice little. It's not even a lake. It's a pond. Got a little place to fish off. Got a little boat spawning some things. Got another little fishing place over there. It's got this little hut. Unfortunately, not very good for base. You can't build a wall here because you have these items clashing. You know, so I can't. Let's get that in my hands. I can't if I get the fence kit, which is over here, and I try and select it. It clashes with all that stuff, so you can't. Yeah, it's gone now. I can't get it to work here without it being out there, which then means people can climb over it. So you've got to kind of you got to make an awful lot more base. And out this side, you have the same problem, which is I can put it sort of on an angle, sort of about there, but then I'd have to, because of the slope, it doesn't like slopes, and I can't connect it. So I can't make a base out of this, albeit it's very nice. The only way to make a base would be to try and build a fence all the way around it, which is just then, yeah, I'm not happy about that as a solution. So, anyway, that's that one. Next on the list, out in Muratin, we're not going over there. We're going to head over towards Sarnowek through the woods, and I want to try. There's a little building on the outskirts in the north of Sarnowek, but I'm not happy given that Sarnowek's already got a base in it. Or there's this one over here, and then there's sort of one of these two out by the road. So there's three to look at in the Sarnowek area. So I'm going to go and do those now. See you soon. So Cure again. I'm at the first of the houses outside Sarnowek. I'm in one of these style houses. You've seen them before. A bunch of them around. So I mean, I haven't checked out the other base at Sarnowek just yet, but this is sort of on the outskirts, a little bit out of the way. It's tricky because what it seems to be is that the door and the gate clash. So you can't build it while the door is shut, and the minute the door is open, you have a problem. And if you try and do it with the door shut, you're obviously you can't place it any closer because you're in the way. And because you can't change the alignment of how the wall is built, the inward side is always facing you, so you can't change it. That's the limitations of the game. But what you can do is you can build it on an angle, so you could sort of bring it up tight to the house and do a kind of a weird angle out the side, you know, and try and, you know, carry it around the side of the house. The problem being you've got this wood pile in the way, so you'd have to do quite a bit more construction to do that. So closing off this door is a bit of a problem. You can't, I don't think you can build inside here, can you? I can't see the line. No, because there's too many things in the way. Like there's a unit there, so it's clashing with the unit, so you can't do that. On this side, you can do a bit of the same. No one can climb in through this window, so you can put it at a bit of an angle and sort of do it like 2 or 3 walls and take it up close to the house, and you can do another another angle on this side once you're outside, and take it up to the house and close off this side. Probably a lot easier than the other side. And then once you're inside, there's some weird stuff you can do inside. So you can kind of put a sort of a semi-partition across one side. I think, was it this side or that side? So you can build inside the house, and you can do weird things with partitions, and you could line up a variety of different partitions that make getting around inside a bit difficult. I don't think you can go there. That would be ideal, but I don't think you can do that. You can't do that. You might if you close the door. Hello, door. You can sort of squeeze in a partition over there, and then you can squeeze in another one over here. You know, and you can do weird things. I don't know how successful it would be at completely closing the place off. I'll take that, thank you. But it's difficult, but doable. So 3 out of 10. I suppose we'll give this kind of house a 3 out of 10, because it's tricky and difficult. But yeah, 3 out of 10. So anyway, moving on. That sounds like pretty heavy gunfire. And more than one. I don't know if they saw me. I don't. We're getting closer though. I think they're just clearing out Zeds. One of them anyway. There's the other one. Three of them, eh?
A few moments later.
Right. That was a bit of fun. But I'm not going to stay. Are you kidding? There's three of them. You think I am crazy? Anyway, so I think that also rules out those other houses at Sarnowek I was looking at, those two over there. There's this one out here in the woods, which I'm prepared to look at. So that's this way. Right. So what does that leave me? Not here. So I want to head across to these two cabins here, and then there's a cabin there, and there's a cabin by the lake, and a couple of cabins over there. Then that's it. That house way out there is still close to Zalisi and Topolin. and we can go and have a look at it, and then that's the last of it. So south, sort of west from here. So this is one of the buildings southwest of Sarnowek. Yeah. It's got a marvelous indoor-outdoor flow. Can't even use the chimney. Bum. Alright then, not this one then. Right. Fate, it seems. It's not without a sense of irony. Although I don't really see the irony. But I'm here. I was there. And some wolves started up. So I ran all the way down the road, not knowing what was at the end of the road, and forgetting that this was here, which is this little house. And I've dropped in here, and I've made a bit of food, and I've eaten that food, and I'm sitting here thinking, and this is actually not that bad. There's a couple of Zeds outside, and obviously Zeds spawn outside, but that's not the end of the world. But you can build a gate right up close against the house, and I think with a little bit of thought and some barbed wire, you'll probably be fine, because there's a porch above. And there's a unit here, but if you build a gate immediately here, you can also build a gate over here, and if you build a gate over here, where there's room, you can build a gate over here, which closes off some of this and that, and then you can actually you can build a gate over here if you get it right, which I think butts in quite nicely over there, and then you can build a gate over here, so you've got, or not a gate, but you've got maybe a gate here, a wall, or a gate and a wall. You've got an extra gate here, you've got a wall here, and maybe a gate here, or two walls here, so people can't get in here. And you've basically created a whole airlock system, whereby if they get in through one, which is fine, if they got in through that one there, then they've still got this one to get through, and the same over there. And you could maybe store stuff out there that was not critically important. You could store stuff in here that was. You could store it all in here because there's plenty of room. It's got its own space. It's got a fire. I don't know if you can build a wall to block out the windows. Let's have a look. Bearing in mind that we had problems with this building. I think in theory you can build a wall to block out the windows. So you could block out those windows. They're the only windows there. This one's looking pretty good, and it's a little bit out of the way. It's not, let's close the door. It's, let's close the door, let's lock the door. Let's lock the door. They're in good condition. We can afford to lock the door. Just in case. Don't want anyone butting in while we're here with our gas stove. Yeah, so it's a little bit out of the way, but the red ridge just over there. I don't know what's in Piekto. There's some water down there at that little dam. It's just a little trip up the road to Pioneer and Zalisi. Sarnowek, we obviously know about, is just up there. Polana, and we do love Polana because there's lots of fun things in Polana, is just down that way. Which is fine, and obviously Svarog is further over, and there's other stuff out in the wilderness and various other bits and pieces like that. So this is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good as a possible opportunity. It's not quite as central as Miran, as I was hoping, but I can't, as we've said, it seems to be very difficult to be able to get something that is going to be out that way, that is going to be usable. Because there's derelict buildings. So you're building outdoors. You could build around a derelict building. You could build part of a derelict building. But I just think you're inviting a lot of trouble. Sarnowek is being raided by a gang, probably the guys from Topolin coming down the road to Sarnowek, that kind of thing. Maybe they're heading down the road to Polana. I have no idea. Anyway, that's that. So, do we stay here or do we keep looking? There's those buildings over there. I think it's a church. Is that why it's got that sign on it? In which case, that's going to be hard. Churches are hard. I thought the churches had a bigger sign on it. Where is that? Adamau. Yeah, Muratan. I thought it was the black thing. What's the T? It's got a little black T on it. I don't know what that means. I mean, it's not a million miles away. We could just run across the woods and have a look at it. And look at those last three. I know what that house is over there, and it was kind of a last-ditch effort, and I don't really like the idea of it. So let's give this one 8 out of 10 for now. And what we'll do is I need to get some more water, so I'll head down and check out this little dam. But that's the one you've seen from the other side of the dam, and I think that it's inviting people to come over, and I also think that it's probably going to be very difficult to build. And that one I don't know about. And there's obviously those down by that swampy bit that I don't know about. But I'm prepared to go and keep looking, because you never know. This might be an 8 out of a 10, and the next one might be a 9. But I want my stove. Why is my stove not going? Oh, probably because I need to fill it up with things. Let's fill it up with things. Anyway, you don't need to see me do that. I'll see you later. Yeah, so this is the little hut by the lake that we've seen before. You can see from the red root over there. You can't build here either, because again, there's too many clashes. There's tables in the way. There's stumps. There's this awning, a tree. So you can't really, you can't. Nice, but you'd be building a base around this, you know, and that's not going to work. So yeah, so that's another one off the list. So we'll go and check out the others. Last on my list, shall we? Again. So where are we? We are over here on the other side of the lake. This one, yeah, was the one we just saw. This is where we are. That T is a sawmill. I don't know why it's a T, but it's a sawmill, big ass sawmill. It's got a lumber pile, which is good. Must remember that. Even if we're building over there, lumber pile is not a million miles away. We can always load up, run across the forest, or if we're traveling in a car, load up the car, drive down the dirt road, and you're back in again. No dramas. But not the kind of place I want to build a base. Great for resources, not for a base. This type of house is pretty good. I've seen this house before. The only downside being obviously the windows. You can't build in here up against the windows because there's too many objects against the windows. But that might not be a constraint for us. You can build right up against the steps, but I don't know how easy it is to get past that. It's close, but it's touch and go. As a secondary defense, you need to build out past that seat, and you'd have to do a kind of a sort of a four wall, because I think it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could do an outer layer and an inner door, and you'd be fine. And that would be okay. So in terms of actually base building, I think it's pretty good. I think base building wise, you'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10 as well, because you could do that. Well, maybe a 7, because you can't close off the windows. You'd have to. What would you have to do? I mean, you could build a fence on the outside, but it wouldn't be protected. But you would obviously hear people taking your fence apart. But they might take it apart just to be a pain when you're not there. The only downside I have is it and there's no Zeds around, which is also a plus. But the only downside I have is it is on a main road. Um, there's the sawmill. So it's not exactly out of the way. In terms of who would be using it and who would be going there and where would they be going, I mean, it's straight down the road from Pioneer. So anyone coming out of Lisi following the road down Pioneer and down here um, would be driving straight past it or running straight past it if they weren't following the red route. So that gives it like one more minus over that one because this one's a little bit more likely to be quote unquote out of the way. Back road, perhaps a little bit more out of the way, possibly. Anyway, so my favorite is that one, like 8 out of 10. This one's 7 out of 10. Sorry, this one's 7 out of 10. Both of them get a bonus for having the sawmill here. I'm just going to go and check this one by the swamp. I know about the one by the red route. It's too close to the red route. But I want to check the one by the little swamp. I'm not sure I've been there before, but that's what we're going to do, and that'll be the last one. See you in a minute. So here we are at the last one, down by this little thing, and this was almost a 9 out of 10. It's even got a doghouse. It's got this lovely little pond to mess in. It's got this outhouse which has some buckshots in. It's got its own little shed for things to spawn in. There's an invisible bag here, believe it or not. But there's a leather kit that I've used and some bits and pieces and all the rest of it. But you can't, similar to some of the other ones we've had, you have to do a weird kind of a triangular or rhomboid. Anyway, you got to do some additional fencing, and you can only do one layer easily, really. Otherwise, you're starting to do lots of fencing around the house. You can't block off the windows. You've got this log piled in the way. I think sometimes you can climb on top of those things. You can climb up here and climb on top of that thing. So then there's the possibility of dropping in on the inside of your base. And how do you stop people doing that? So not easily secured is the short answer, which is a shame because it looks pretty. It looks very, very pretty. But that's not what we're doing. And it's got its own private road. So on that note, I hope you've enjoyed this little journey around the map in search of understanding where you can and can't build a base and some of the pros and cons of building a base and some of the things you need to know while you're building a base. We're down here at the bottom. It's a nice place to hang out. You can always come down here for hangout. Do spot fishing, whatever. Make it the batch, as we say in Kiwi land. But I think we're going to go with this one. I think we're going to go with this one over here. Our 8 out of 10 over our 7 out of 10. Because it's slightly more off the beaten track. And really that's it. And a little bit easier to do some complexities with it and secure it and protect it from everything that we need to do. So I got to go back to Murattan and hope like crazy my gear is still there and somehow get it all over here. My plan is to go back here. I can always take a trip over to Lumberyard and get some lumber. I've got a few saws. There's a couple of outhouses with bales of wire and things in them that I can pick up. Try and set up at least one gate, if not a couple of gates, and some fencing, and try and secure it as much as I can. And then I will head over to Murattan. If the Hummer is still there, my plan is to try and fuel up the Hummer, stick as many of my boxes with my critical gear in the back of the Hummer as I can, and drive it out to the new base. I know the Olga holds more, I think 100 more, but why would you turn down a Hummer? Seriously, why? And I don't think it needs a radiator. I think it just needs a battery and a plug. And I've got a couple of plugs, as long as no one's raided my stash. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got 5 boxes, 250. It takes 300. I think it'll take 6 boxes. So I think I can fit everything that I need that's critical into 6 boxes, take it over to my new base, and start again from scratch with a new base and stuff to do. I'm starving. I need to go find some food. Anyway, I shall love you and leave you. I hope you have enjoyed this little journey. It's been fun, including taking pot shots at random groups of 3 people in Sarnowek and then legging it. They're probably still wondering what happened. I didn't quite get him. I mean, I hit him. But it would have been nice to have at least knocked him out, but I don't think I knocked him out. So anyway, there you go. Please, please, please drop us a like, do subscribe, and please come and join me next time when I sincerely hope that I shall be joining you from inside an entirely new base. Ta-ta for now.
PlayStation